The rain hammered down like fists on the tin roof of Alex Harlan's garage, turning the cracked asphalt outside into a slick black mirror that reflected the flashing red and blue lights of the squad cars. He stood frozen in the doorway, grease-streaked hands raised, as the 6-year-old boy he'd been calling Buddy for the last 3 days clung to his leg, tiny fists balled in the denim of his overalls, sobbing with a ferocity that drowned out the storm. "No, don't take me. Alex is my dad," the child wailed, his voice cracking the night wide open, while the lead detective's face twisted in confusion, badge glinting under the floodlights. Because in that moment, everyone knew this wasn't just a rescue. It was the unraveling of everything Alex had buried deep. Alex Harlan wiped the sweat from his brow with the back of his forearm, the acrid scent of motor oil clinging to his skin like a second shadow. It was a sweltering July afternoon in Willow Creek, Ohio, the kind where the air hung heavy and the cicadas screamed their endless chorus from the overgrown lots behind his shop. Harlan's Auto Repair sat on the edge of town, a squat brick building with a faded sign that listed to one side, much like Alex himself after 28 years of bending under the weight of small-town expectations. He was the guy who fixed your Chevy when it coughed its last, the one who never charged widows extra, but whispers followed him everywhere. That queer mechanic. It wasn't said to his face. Not anymore. Not since he'd come out at 18 and lost half his high school friends overnight. But the judgment lingered, a low hum beneath the clank of wrenches and the growl of engines. That morning started like any other. Alex arrived at dawn, coffee in hand from the diner's drive-thru, his pickup truck rumbling to a stop beside the bay doors. He flipped on the lights, the fluorescent buzz cutting through the dust motes, and surveyed the lineup. Mrs. Keller's minivan with a busted radiator, Old Man Jenkins' Ford that needed new brakes. Routine. Comforting, even. Being under the hood meant no small talk, no sidelong glances at the rainbow sticker on his toolbox, a quiet rebellion he'd slapped on after his ex, Jamie, left town 2 years back, chasing a life where love didn't come with side eyes and sermons. But as Alex popped the hood on the first car, a sharp cry pierced the air, not the mechanical whine he knew, but something raw, human. It came from the alley behind the shop, where overgrown weeds choked the chain-link fence. He froze, wrenched midair, heart kicking up like a misfiring piston. Kids didn't wander out here. This was the forgotten corner of Willow Creek, where the railroad tracks rusted and stray cats fought over scraps. Wiping his hands on a rag, Alex edged toward the sound, boots crunching gravel. There, huddled against a rusted dumpster, was a boy no older than 6, knees drawn to his chest, face streaked with dirt and tears. His clothes were mismatched, a too-big flannel shirt over cartoon-printed pajamas, sneakers caked in mud, and he clutched a threadbare stuffed bear like it was the only anchor in a storm. The kid's eyes, wide and hazel, locked onto Alex's with a desperation that punched him square in the gut. "Hey, little man," Alex said softly, crouching down but keeping his distance, hands visible. "You okay? What's your name?" The boy sniffled, wiping his nose on the bear's ear. "Timmy. I ran away. Mommy said bad things, and Daddy yelled." His voice was small, threaded with fear, and Alex's stomach twisted. Run away? In this heat? He scanned the alley. No sign of anyone, just the distant hum of I-71. "All right, Timmy. You hungry? Got some peanut butter crackers inside if you want." That was it. The hook that snagged them both. Timmy uncurled just enough to nod, and Alex scooped him up, light as a toolbox, warm against his chest, and carried him into the garage. He set the kid on a stool by the workbench, fetched crackers and a bottle of water from the mini-fridge, and watched as Timmy devoured them, eyes darting like he expected the food to vanish. "Where's your folks?" Alex asked gently, leaning against the wall, arms crossed to seem less imposing. Timmy shrugged, crumbs tumbling. "Mommy's at work. Daddy, he don't like me no more. Says I'm like you." The word hung there, innocent but loaded, and Alex's breath caught. Like him? The pieces clicked too fast, the flannel too big, maybe a father's, the fear in those eyes, mirroring his own from years ago when his dad had kicked him out with nothing but a duffel and a "don't come back, faggot." By noon, Alex had called the station, anonymous tip, he figured, keep it clean. But Timmy had other plans. As Alex hung up, the boy slid off the stool and wrapped his arms around Alex's waist, bare pressed between them. Don't tell. Please. You're nice. Like in the stories. Stories? Alex knelt, searching those hazel eyes. What stories, buddy? Timmy's face lit up, a crack in the fear. The ones Mommy reads. Princes who save kids from dragons. You're a prince, right? With your tools. It was absurd, heartbreaking, and Alex laughed, a rusty sound he hadn't heard from himself in months. Prince. Him, with oil under his nails and a heart patched together from bad breakups and bar fights. But in that moment, with Timmy beaming up at him, Alex felt something shift, like a seized bolt finally giving way. The afternoon blurred into play, Timmy helping with the minivan, handing tools with solemn concentration, chattering about dinosaurs and how his bear, Mr. Whiskers, could fix cars too. Alex texted his best friend, Lena, a no-nonsense lesbian who ran the town's only bookstore and had been his rock since they bonded over shared coming-out horror stories in college. Found a stray kid. Cops en route. Pray for me. Her reply pinged back. If he's cuter than you, steal him. Kidding. Mostly. When the patrol car pulled up at dusk, lights off but authoritative, Alex's stomach dropped. Officer Reyes, a stocky woman with a kind face but steel in her eyes, stepped out with her partner. Mr. Harlan? We got a call about a child. Timmy, who'd been dozing on a blanket Alex spread out, bolted upright and hid behind the workbench. It's okay, buddy, Alex murmured, but the kid's grip on his sleeve said otherwise. Reyes knelt, her voice soft. Hey, sweetie, what's your name? Timmy peeked out, then whispered, Timmy, but I want to stay with Alex. The officers exchanged glances, Reyes's softening, her partner's narrowing. They radioed in, and within minutes, the pieces fell. Timmy's mom, Sarah Klein, a waitress at the diner, had reported him missing hours ago. Dad, out of the picture, or so the report said. But as Sarah arrived, frantic in her uniform, hugging Timmy tight, Alex caught the flicker in her eyes. Not just relief, but something shadowed, guilty. Thank you, she breathed, tears streaming. God, I thought. He just vanished after school. Timmy squirmed, face buried in her shoulder, but his eyes sought Alex over her arm, pleading. Alex nodded, forcing a smile. Anytime. He's a good kid. Handshake, paperwork, and they were gone, taillights fading into the twilight. That night, alone in his apartment above the garage, a sparse two-bedroom with posters of classic cars and a shelf of dog-eared queer lit, Alex couldn't shake it. Timmy's words echoed. Like you. He poured a whiskey, neat, and stared at the ceiling cracks, wondering if the kid had overheard slurs at home, internalized them like poison. His phone buzzed. Lena, you okay? Reyes called me, said the mom seemed off. Alex typed back, yeah, just a long day. But sleep evaded him, the rain starting up again, drumming like accusations. 2 days later, Timmy reappeared. It was mid-morning, Alex elbow deep in a transmission when the bell jingled. There stood the boy, same pajamas under a raincoat too big, Mr. Whiskers sodden under his arm. I ran again, Timmy said flatly, dripping on the welcome mat. Mommy cries all night. Says sorry, but Daddy's friend came and yelled. Alex's blood ran cold. Daddy's friend? Sarah was single, per the report. He knelt, heart pounding. Timmy, you can't keep doing this. It's dangerous. But the boy's lip quivered. Please, just till it stops raining. How do you say no to that? Alex dried him off, made hot chocolate, spiking his own with a splash of bourbon, and they spent the day building a fort from cardboard boxes. Timmy's laughter a bomb Alex didn't know he needed. By evening, he called Sarah, voice steady. He's here. Safe. But we need to talk. She arrived looking wrecked, hair uncombed, eyes red-rimmed. I'm so sorry. It's complicated. Over coffee at the diner's back booth after hours, the story spilled. Sarah's ex, Greg, wasn't gone. He was in and out, a trucker with a temper and a mouth full of hate. Lately, he'd zeroed in on Timmy, calling him sissy for liking dolls. Worse after overhearing Sarah defend a gay co-worker. He said the kid's turning out wrong like it's my fault. Her voice broke. I work doubles. Can't watch him every second. Alex listened, the pieces slotting into place. Prejudice, the kind that festered in Willow Creek's underbelly, where church signs preached love, but folks crossed streets at pride flags. He's welcome anytime, Alex said. But this running away, it's gotta stop. Sarah nodded, gratitude warring with shame. As they left, Timmy slipped his hand into Alex's, small fingers trusting. In that touch, something fragile bloomed. Not fatherhood, not yet, but a tether across the chasm of misunderstanding. Word spread, as it does in towns like this. By week's end, customers at the garage shot sidelong glances. Harlan with that Klein boy again? What's his angle? Lena cornered him at the bookstore, shelves of paperbacks looming like confidants. You're playing hero, Alex. But heroes get burned. She was all edges, short-cropped hair, tattoos peeking from her sleeves. But her eyes held worry, the kind forged from her own battles, disowned by family, rebuilding with sheer grit. I'm not playing, he shot back, stacking romance novels to avoid her gaze. Kid needs someone who sees him. Lena softened, squeezing his shoulder. And you need someone who sees you. When's the last time you dated? He shrugged. Jamie had been the last, a whirlwind of passion that crashed on the rocks of his insecurities. Gay in Ohio wasn't a death sentence, but it was a daily tightrope. The bar on Fridays where out-of-towners mingled, the app hookups that left him hollow. That Friday, at the Anchor, Willow Creek's dive with a surprisingly tolerant crowd. Alex nursed a beer, Timmy safe with Sarah after a promised playdate. The jukebox crooned Johnny Cash, and the door swung open to admit Detective Reyes, off-duty in jeans and a faded tee, her usual bun loose. She spotted him, hesitated, then slid onto the stool beside. Mind company? Rough week. Buy you around? Alex offered, surprised. They'd crossed paths before, fender benders, the occasional noise complaint, but never like this. Reyes, Elena, she clarified, smiled, lines crinkling her eyes. Make it a whiskey. Conversation flowed easy. Her divorce, his garage woes, the town's undercurrents of bigotry they both navigated. She was straight, she said, but an ally through and through. Marched in Columbus Pride last year after a buddy came out. Willow Creek's changing, slow as molasses. But guys like you, you're the spark. By closing time, numbers exchanged, Alex walked her to her car under street lamps buzzing with moths. Thanks for seeing me, he said, the words slipping out raw. Elena paused, hand on the door. Anyone who doesn't is blind. The kiss that followed was brief, platonic, a peck on the cheek that lingered just long enough to stir confusion in him. Friendship? Or the start of something more nuanced? But nuance shattered Sunday morning. Alex was under a Mustang, torque wrench in hand, when Timmy burst in, wild-eyed, Greg looming behind like a thundercloud, 6'4", bearded, fists clenched. You think you can poach my boy, queer? Greg snarled, voice booming off the concrete. Timmy cowered behind a tire stack. Daddy, no. Alex is good. Alex slid out, slow, hands up. Easy, man. Just fixing cars. Timmy wandered over. But Greg's eyes blazed, fueled by whatever rot Sarah had hinted at. Sarah says you've been filling his head with your filth. Touch him again, and the threat hung, unfinished as Elena. Reyes pulled up in her unmarked cruiser, alerted by a neighbor. She stepped between them, badge flashing. Back off, Klein. Assault charge waiting. Greg spat on the ground, storming out with Timmy dragged along, the boys' cries echoing. Alex's hands shook as he lit a cigarette. Bad habit, kicked years ago. Elena stayed, brewing coffee in the shop's break room. He's trouble. Filed a report last night. Claims you're grooming the kid. Grooming. The word landed like a sledgehammer, dredging up every slur, every lost job interview veiled as not a fit. That night, alone, Alex broke. He called Lena at 2 a.m., voice cracking. What if they're right? What if I'm poison? She drove over, wrapped him in a blanket on the couch. You're not. You're the guy who fixes what's broken. Cars, hearts, lives. Greg's the poison. They talked till dawn, her stories of bookstore battles mirroring his. The customer who called her a dyke, the one who stayed and bought every Audrey Lorde on the shelf. Friendship, the deepest kind, pulled him from the edge. Monday brought the storm. Not rain, but whispers turned to gales. A customer, face twisted, demanded his keys and muttered, "Pedo," under his breath. By lunch, the diner's owner, a church deacon, banned Alex. Family place, he said. Elena texted, lay low. IA sniffing. Internal affairs. On him. The accusation had escalated overnight. Greg, backed by buddies at the mill, claimed Alex lured Timmy with candy. Unnatural intentions. Sarah called, hysterical, "He's lying." But the cops, they listened to him. Alex barricaded in the garage. Engine roar his only companion. When Timmy slipped through the side door at twilight, bruises blooming on his arm like ugly flowers. "Daddy hit me. Said it's your fault." Alex's vision tunneled. He cleaned the scrapes with antiseptic, voice steady as he dialed child services. Anonymous again, but Elena beat him to it, arriving with a social worker, Ms. Patel, notepad in hand. Timmy, perched on the workbench, swung his legs and declared, "Alex is my best friend. He tells stories without the bad words." Ms. Patel's eyes softened, but protocol loomed. Interviews, home visits. As they left with Timmy, temporary foster, they said, Greg's truck idled across the street, headlights piercing like accusations. Alex met his glare, chin up, but inside, the fear gnawed. What if the town turned, burying him under its weight? Lena rallied troops that week. At the bookstore's back room, dubbed the safe house for locals like them, she hosted an impromptu meeting. Elena, a few Pride allies from Columbus, even Sarah, who showed with coffee and apologies. "I left Greg years ago, but he circles back, guilts me with money." Her hands trembled. "Timmy idolizes Alex because Alex is kind. Like the uncles in my books, the ones who love different but love big." Elena nodded, flipping through reports. Forensics on the bruises, fresh, matches Timmy's story. But Greg's got pull, mill union, church ties. "We need proof." Proof. The word mocked Alex as he lay awake, replaying every interaction. The fort, the dinosaur roars, Timmy's trust like fragile glass. Was it enough to fight the tide? Twist came Friday, unbidden. Alex, closing shop early, found an envelope under his wiper. Grainy photos, him and Timmy laughing, time-stamped. Inside, a note in block letters, "Stay away or these go viral. Willow Creek knows your kind." His kind. The bile rose, but anger followed. Hot, clarifying. He drove to Lena's, photos in glove box, and they poured over them with Elena. "Harassment," she said. "And sloppy, fingerprints, maybe." But the real hook. One photo caught Greg's truck in the background, the day of the alley find. Stalking? The gears turned. Saturday dawned crisp, autumn edging in, leaves skittering like secrets. Alex took the day off, first in years, heading to the county fair with Lena, a forced normalcy. Cotton candy stuck to fingers, Ferris wheel creaking under laughter, but eyes followed. That's him. The one. Then, amid the midway chaos, a hand tugged his sleeve. Timmy, escaped from foster care, wide-eyed in the crowd. "I missed you. The house is quiet. No stories." Heart seizing, Alex knelt. "Buddy, you can't." But Timmy hugged him fierce, and in that press of bodies, a flash. Cameras, not fairgoers, but pointed. Greg's ally, documenting. Elena appeared like fate, badge parting the crowd, scooping Timmy up. "Got him. But this? It's war now." Back at the station, interrogation room stark under fluorescence, Timmy spilled. Daddy's friend took pictures. Said it'd make the bad man go away. Bad man, Alex. The room spun. Elena leaned in later, coffee steaming. Charges against Greg, endangerment, coercion. But the kidnapping rumor? It stuck. DA's waffling, politics. Politics. Willow Creek's mayor, up for re-election, preached family values. Code for the evangelical bloc that donated big. Alex became poster child for their fears. Gay man, vulnerable child. Protests brewed, signs outside the garage, "Protect our kids." Lena's store window shattered overnight, glass crunching under "Sinner" scrawled in red. In the eye, Alex found clarity. He visited Timmy at Foster, through plexiglass, voices tinny. "Tell me a story, Alex." The prince won. So he did, weaving dragons and hidden kingdoms, Timmy's face alight. "You're my prince," the boy whispered. Tears pricked. Outside, Sarah waited, chain-smoking. "Fight it. For him. For us. Us." Her eyes held not pity, but alliance. Mother to protector, bound by shared scorn. The trial loomed, not formal yet, but hearings, custody battles, defamation suits. Alex hired a lawyer from Columbus, pro bono, queer rights org, sharp-suited Marcus Hale, Who saw the bones? Discrimination suit wrapped in child welfare. They'll crumble under scrutiny, Marcus said over diner pie. But doubt not. Nights, Alex dreamed of Jamie's ghost, accusing, "You always run." No, not this time. Climax brewed at the town hall meeting, air thick with murmurs. Mayor droned on budgets, then opened floor. Greg rose, voice booming. That Harlan's a predator. Snatching kids, brainwashing. Murmurs swelled to roars. Alex, in back row with Lena and Elena, felt the noose tighten. Then Sarah stood, voice quaking but stealing. "My ex is the monster." Timmy ran to Alex because he's safe. Because he loves without conditions, something Greg never learned. Gasps rippled. Greg lunged, but Elena blocked, cuffs ready. Chaos erupted. Shouts, chair scraping. In the fray, Timmy, smuggled in by a sympathetic Foster, bolted on stage, straight to Alex. "Don't let them take you. You're my family." The mic caught it, amplifying over the din. Flashbulbs popped. Local news, live-streamed. The child only cries to stay with him. The hook that broke the dam. Order restored. Mayor adjourned. Face ashen. Backlash swift. Unions distanced from Greg. Church split. Progressives decrying the witch hunt. Elena pulled strings. DA folded. Charges dropped. But the real victory? Quiet mornings after. Timmy placed with Sarah full-time. Supervised visits for Alex turning permanent. Uncle Alex, the boy dubbed him, bear in tow. Seasons turned. Snow dusting the garage roof. Elena and Alex? Coffee evolved to dinners, her straight-edge world broadening his. "Never thought I'd fall for a cop," he joked one night, her laugh warm. Lena officiated their first not a date, bookstore aglow. Love, multifaceted, wove through. Platonic with Timmy, fierce with friends, tentative with Elena. Overcoming layers of prejudice, one trust at a time. Yet twists lingered. Greg, jailed for assault, sent letters, apologies scrawled in regret, hinting at his own buried pains. A father who beat the softness out of him. Forgiveness? Not yet. But understanding bloomed, a quiet revolution in Alex's heart. Willow Creek shifted, slow, pride flags in windows, stories swapped at the diner. Alex, grease under nails, fixed more than cars now. He mended fractures, proved love's engine ran deepest when revved against the odds. Spring unfurled in Willow Creek like a hesitant promise, dogwoods blooming pink against the steel-gray sky. But for Alex Harlan, the thaw was internal, slow as sap rising. Months had passed since the town hall melee, the headlines fading from Willow Gazette front pages to back section blurbs. But the scars lingered, faint lines on his reputation, deeper etchings in his soul. The garage hummed with tentative normalcy. Customers trickling back, some with mumbled apologies, others with defiant stares. Alex took them all, wrench steady, because holding grudges rusted you from the inside. Timmy's visits became ritual, Saturdays, rain or shine, the boy arriving with Sarah's minivan idling curbside, Mr. Whiskers in tow, and a backpack stuffed with crayons. They'd tinker under hoods, Timmy diagnosing, with a toy stethoscope, or spin yarns in the break room, Alex's voice dropping low for the dragon's roar. And the prince? He didn't slay it with a sword, he'd say, eyes twinkling. He talked to the beast, learned its fears were just shadows. Timmy would nod solemnly, hazel eyes mirrors of Alex's own guarded hope. Sarah watched from the doorway sometimes, arms crossed but softening. Their talks evolved from crisis to camaraderie, shared recipes, her meatloaf, his chili, complaints about rising gas prices, the quiet admissions of single parenthood's grind. "You ever think about more?" she asked one afternoon, handing him a Tupperware. Alex paused, rag in hand. "Kids? Nah, not built for it." But the lie tasted bitter. Timmy had cracked that casing wide. Lena, ever the truth teller, called bullshit over beers at the Anchor. "You're already dad adjacent. Own it." She nursed her IPA, tattooed fingers drumming the bar. Their friendship, forged in fire, had deepened. Weekly check-ins. Her lending queer memoirs that hit too close. Him fixing her ancient Volvo gratis. "And Elena?" Lena prodded, eyebrow arched. "That's not nothing." Elena Reyes. The name conjured warmth now, like sunlight slanting through bay windows. Their coffees had multiplied. Walks along the Scioto River, where willows trailed fingers in the current, movie nights at her bungalow, popcorn battles escalating to laughter that echoed off exposed beams. She was straight, unapologetically, ex-husband's ghost of fond ache, but the pull between them defied labels. "You're safe," she confessed one evening, head on his shoulder during a storm. "In a world that chews up edges, you're steady." Alex traced her knuckles, marveling, allyship blooming to something tender, unspoken. But Willow Creek didn't forget easy. Whispers resurfaced with the county fair's approach. Booths prepped, carnival lights strung like accusations. Greg's trial loomed, set for June, and his supporters rallied. Flyers tacked to polls, justice for fathers, veiled swipes at deviant influences. Alex found one on his windshield, crumpling it with a curse. Elena, scanning it at the station, frowned. "Hate mail spiking. IA cleared you, but..." The but hung heavy. A new detective, transferred from Cincinnati, broad-shouldered Harlan Tate, no relation but irony biting, had questions. "Walk me through the timeline, Mr. Harlan." Tate's office smelled of stale coffee, files stacked like judgments. Alex recounted. Alley fined, calls to cops, visits. Tate nodded, pen scratching, but his eyes, cold blue, lingered. "Kid clings hard. Unusual for a stranger." Stranger. The word stung, reducing Timmy's hugs to suspicion. Nights after, Alex tossed in sweat-damp sheets, dreams twisting. Timmy's cries morphing to accusations, Greg's face leering from shadows. He woke gasping, dialing Lena at dawn. "They're digging again." Her voice, groggy but fierce. "Then we dig back. Meet at the shop, bring coffee." By noon, strategy session. Elena with case files, Sarah with Timmy's drawings, dragons slain by kindness, Lena with a laptop scoured for precedents. "Look, Ohio's got protections. Queer foster parents winning custody left and right." Timmy, oblivious, colored beside Alex, tongue out in concentration. "This one's you," he said, thrusting a green-scribbled knight. Alex's throat tightened. Brave guy. Twist uncoiled mid-week, innocuous as a flat tire. Alex, on a tow call to the highway, spotted a familiar truck jackknife it against the guardrail. Greg's rig, cab crumpled, driver slumped over the wheel. Heart slamming, he radioed it in, approaching cautious. Greg stirred as sirens wailed closer, blood trickling from a gash. "Harlan," he rasped, eyes unfocused. "Didn't see it coming." Elena arrived first, securing the scene, but Greg's mutter carried. "Tell Sarah. Sorry. For everything." Ambulance lights painted the asphalt red, and as they loaded him, Alex caught Elena's glance. Pity, not triumph. Later, at the hospital waiting room, Sarah arrived, face pale. Drunk driving. Again. Timmy stayed with Foster, but she clung to Alex's hand. "He called me from the road. Said he was heading to you, to apologize." Apologize? The word echoed absurd. But in the sterile hum, Greg, bandaged, dripping, whispered it hoarsely when Sarah brought Alex in. "I was wrong. Dad beat me for crying. Thought I'd toughen him up." Tears tracked his cheeks. You're good for him." Alex stood frozen, the man who'd threatened him now broken open. Forgiveness wasn't absolution, but it was a crack in the armor, prejudice's roots exposed, starved of hate. Trial came sweltering, courtroom fans whirring like judgments. Greg pled guilty, manslaughter charge dropped to reckless, probation heavy. Testimony day, Timmy took the stand, small in the box, Mr. Whiskers clutched tight. "Uncle Alex saved me." From the dark. Juries hardened to sobs, but his, pure, unfiltered, landed like truth serum. Verdict, supervised visitation for Greg, full custody to Sarah, with Alex named guardian in absentia. Outside, press swarmed, Columbus reporters, queer hero spins, but Alex slipped away with his circle, Lena's arm linked, Elena's hand brushing his, Timmy's hug enveloping. "We won," Sarah breathed, eyes shining. "Won? Not conquest, but reclamation, love's quiet insurgency against the storm." Summer deepened, fireflies winking in the garage lot. Elena and Alex's first real date. Picnic by the river, her in a sundress, him in clean jeans. Laughter flowed, stories swapped. Her undercover days, his boyhood crushes hidden in comic pages. "I like this," she said, fingers lacing his. "Us." Undefined. He kissed her then, soft, the world blurring to just them. Proof that hearts bent, didn't break, under scrutiny. Timmy's 8th birthday fell on a golden September day, backyard bash at Sarah's modest rancher. Balloons bobbing, grill smoke curling. Alex flipped burgers, Lena DJ'd queer anthems low, Elena refereed sack races. Greg appeared at the edge, permission granted, tentative, handing Timmy a wrapped toy truck, voice gruff. "Be strong, kid." Timmy nodded, then ran back to Alex, whispering, "You're still my prince." In that circle, fractured family reforged. Alex saw the arc. Misunderstandings bridged, prejudices peeled like rust, love the unyielding torque. But life, dramatic as ever, reserved one final turn. October brought Lena a diagnosis: early breast cancer, caught in a routine scan. The news hit like a derailment, her bookstore closing for treatments. Alex rallied, fundraisers at the garage, car washes with Timmy waving signs. Elena cooked meals, Sarah hosted game nights. In chemo chairs, Lena quipped, "If I lose my hair, you better knit me a wig, rainbow stripes." They laughed through tears, bonds tightening like cables under strain. Winter solstice, snow blanketing Willow Creek, they gathered at the fairgrounds, now site of the first town pride, small but fierce. Booths with ally pins, stories shared under strung lights. Alex spoke, voice steady. "Love isn't a threat. It's the fix." Timmy, bundled, cheered loudest. Elena squeezed his hand, future whispered in her eyes. From accusation to anchor, Alex's story unfolded. Not perfect, but profoundly his. A mechanic's heart, wrenching truth from tangle, proving the deepest affections endure the harshest revs. The Ides of March arrived in Willow Creek with a bitter wind that rattled the garage's loose panes, carrying the faint scent of thawing earth and unspoken reckonings. Alex Harlan, sleeves rolled to elbows, was elbow-deep in a '72 Mustang's carburetor when the phone buzzed insistently on the workbench. A Columbus area code, Marcus Hale's firm. "Alex, it's time," the lawyer said, voice clipped with that professional edge. "Petition for guardianship. Sarah's on board, Timmy's therapist too. Hearing next month." Guardianship. The words settled heavy as engine block, thrilling and terrifying. 8 months post-trial. Life had steadied. Greg in rehab upstate. Letters sporadic but sincere. The garage's books in the black, thanks to fair-weather loyalists returning. But this? Formalizing the tether to Timmy felt like grafting a new limb. Vital, but risky if rejected. "You sure?" Alex asked, wiping grease on his jeans. Marcus chuckled. "Kids drawing you as superhero in every session. Court's seen worse cases win." Hanging up, Alex leaned against the Mustang's fender, mind-racing circuits. Timmy, now a gangly 7 with front teeth missing and a penchant for bad jokes, had woven into his days seamless. School drop-offs when Sarah pulled doubles. Homework at the shop with oil smudges on graph paper. "What's pie, Uncle Alex?" 3-point grease and a little extra, he'd quip, ruffling hair. Moments like that patched the old cracks. Jamie's ghost quieter now, replaced by this makeshift family. Elena noticed the shift that evening. Over takeout Thai in her kitchen, chopsticks clacking like Morse code. "You're glowing." Spill. Curled on the couch, her feet in his lap, Alex traced the scar on her ankle from a foot chase gone wrong. Guardianship hearing. For Timmy. Her eyes lit, fork pausing midair. "That's huge. Proud of you." Pause, then softer. "Us too? This. Whatever we're building." They danced around labels. Partners? Lovers? Soul anchors? But her vulnerability cracked him open. "Yeah, us." Their rhythm had deepened through winter's hush. Mornings with her coffee strong black, his loaded sweet. Nights debating true crime pods, her cop insight dissecting motives. Straight or not, Elena's love was fluid. Affection without possession, support without erasure. "You're my constant," she'd murmur in the dark, and Alex believed it, the town's old stairs fading to irrelevance. But Willow Creek stirred restlessly, spring equinox breeding new frictions. The church, split post-scandal, now hosted family forums, veiled as support but laced with digs, protecting innocence from modern confusions. Flyers landed in mailboxes, Greg's old crew nodding along. Lena, bald under her beanie post-chemo, caught wind at a council meeting. They're gunning for the hearing, she texted Alex, voice note attached, raspy but defiant. Quoting Leviticus like it's law. We counter with community. Bake sale for the bookstore rebuild. Alex rallied, Grease Monkey style. Car show fundraiser, classics gleaming under tents, Timmy waving donors to booths. Sarah manned the grill, flips precise. Elena worked security, badge casual. Even Marcus showed, schmoozing suits. Laughter rang, engines purred, and for an afternoon, prejudice idled curbside. But dusk brought shadows. Anonymous call to the station, claiming Alex's influence endangered Timmy. Voice distorted, but Tate's ear perked. Detective Harlan Tate. The name chafed, a burr in Alex's piece. Assigned to monitor the case. DA's compromise. Tate shadowed visits. Notebook ever present. Routine, he'd say, but his questions probed. Boy mentions princes a lot. From your stories. Alex bristled. From books. Tolerance ones. Tate's nod was neutral, but Elena warned over late-night stakeout tales. He's ambitious. Climbing on controversy. Tension coiled tighter when Timmy came home from school one Tuesday. Backpack slung low, eyes downcast. Billy said I'm weird cause of you. That uncle's like you make boys. Wrong. The slur, secondhand but sharp, hit Alex like shrapnel. He knelt in the kitchen, Sarah hovering anxious. Listen, buddy. Wrong's what hurts people. Like yelling or hitting. Loving? That's right as rain. Timmy hugged him fierce, but the seed planted, doubt, insidious. Therapy sessions ramped. Dr. Ellis, a soft-spoken woman with wire rims, drawing out Timmy's fears in sand trays. Dragons now caged, princes vigilant. Alex sat in family intakes, voice steady. I came out at 18. Lost family, friends. But I rebuilt. Timmy doesn't have to. Ellis nodded, notes scribbled. Resilience models. Strong case. Yet twists lurked in unexpected corners. Mid-April, a package arrived at the garage, unmarked, bulky. Inside, Jamie's old jacket, leather-worn soft, stuffed with letters unread. Return address, Seattle. Heart thudding, Alex unfolded the top. Missed my shot. Seeing your story. Inspired. Coffee sometime. Jamie. The ex who'd fled judgment, now circling back via news clips. Lena, reading over his shoulder, whistled. Ghosts don't stay buried. Talk to Elena first. He did. Over river walk, willows budding green. Feel like a fool, Alex admitted, letter crumpled in fist. Elena stopped, hands framing his face. Not foolish. Human. Go if you want, but know I'm here, no strings. Her trust, unjealous, floored him. He burned the letters that night. Jacket donated. Closure a quiet exorcism. Hearing day dawned muggy. Courthouse steps slick with pollen. Alex in khakis, itchy, unfamiliar, flanked by his phalanx. Sarah in pearls, Lena in combat boots, Elena off-duty in slacks, Timmy in button-down, fidgeting. Tate loomed in the gallery, notebook poised. Mayor's aide too, eyes calculating. Judge Harlan, no kin, thank God. Bangs gavel, room hushes. Testimonies flowed. Sarah's plea, voice cracking on Greg's shadows. Dr. Ellis's report, graphs of Timmy's progress spiking post-Alex. Timmy himself, small but sure. He makes the scary go away. Like magic. Gasps rippled, prepped for tears, not testimony. Then Marcus, silver-tongued. Mr. Harlan embodies stability, countering the very biases the opposition invokes. Deny this, and we endorse discrimination. Cross-exam. Tate rises, questions barbed. Stories of princes. Do they include romantic elements? Alex meets his gaze. Friendship. Bravery. Love without harm. Jury nods. Tate sits, deflated. Closing arguments thunder. Marcus on equity, opposition on traditional roles, but the hook lands in recess. Timmy, slipping from Sarah, climbs Alex's lap in the hall. Win or lose, you're mine. Flashbulbs catch it, humanizing the abstract. Verdict, granted, with stipends for counseling. Cheers erupt soft, Lena's whoop loudest. Outside, press hounds. But Alex scoops Timmy, world narrowing to that grin. Now what, Prince? The boy asks. Ice cream. And home. Home. Sarah's rancher. Now they're shared. Alex's apartment sublet. Toolbox in the shed. Elena moves in weekends. Her uniform hung beside his overalls. Lena, hair inching back fuzzy, toasts at dinner. To families, forged not born. Greg's card arrives weeks later. Congrats, shaky script. Progress, inching. Summer solstice picnic. Riverbank, blankets spread, Timmy chasing fireflies. Jamie texts once, happy for you. Unanswered, archived. Elena whispers dreams. Joint adoption classes, her badge for their shield. Love, layered, familial fierce, romantic fluid, friendly unyielding, thrives in the tension, each conflict a polish on their edges. But drama simmers eternal. Fall whispers of Tate's promotion. On high-profile cases like theirs, prompt Elena's lateral move offer. Columbus PD, bigger scope. Come with, she asks, autumn leaves crunching. Alex hesitates, roots deep now, but Timmy's adventure seals it. Willow Creek fades rear view, not forgotten, but outgrown, a town that taught him to rev against the drag, engine purring stronger. In the new city lights, garage rebranded, family intact, Alex reflects. Accusation was the spark, child's cry the fuel. From kidnapping specter to kinship's embrace, life's plot twists not to break, but to bind. Emotions raw, characters carved deep, love the ultimate, unyielding drive. Autumn in Columbus painted the skyline in russet and gold, a far cry from Willow Creek's muted fields. But for Alex Harlan, the move felt less transplant and more evolution, like upgrading from AV6 to AV8, power humming beneath the hood. The new garage, Harlan and Reyes Auto, nestled in a bustling east side strip, smelled of fresh paint and possibility. Bays gleaming, rainbow decal on the plate glass window drawing curious glances and the occasional thumbs up. Timmy, enrolled in a magnet school with art electives, thrived, sketches of super mechanics, taping the fridge at their row house rental, Elena's precinct shifts syncing with Sarah's remote admin gig. Sarah's integration surprised even her. Never thought I'd trade diner grease for spreadsheets. She'd laugh over potlucks. Her laugh freer now, Greg's shadow receding to holiday cards. She'd started dating. A quiet librarian from the library branch, hands gentle as turned pages, and Alex caught her glow, mirroring his own. You're the glue, she told him one crisp evening, raking leaves in the yard, Timmy piling them into forts. Held us when we crumbled. Elena's transition smoothed too. Detective sergeant now, collar stars earned on vice busts, but home was her anchor. Dinners where she quizzed Timmy on multiplication, her foot hooking Alex's under the table. Their undefined bond solidified in increments. Shared lease papers, couples counseling not for crisis but calibration, were pioneers, she'd quip, straight gal, gay guy family unit. Intimacy wove emotional, not erotic. Forehead kisses after nightmares, her head on his chest during storms, trust the deepest touch. Lena, chemo conquered, reopened the bookstore as a pop-up in Columbus. Out and about books, events packed with readings and zine swaps. Willow Creek was rehearsal, she declared at the launch, bald head crowned with a fedora, Alex toasting with root beer for Timmy. This? The main act. Her health scare had reframed everything. Quarterly scans a ritual, friendships a lifeline. She crashed weekends, turning the row house into debate central. Queer theory over board games, Timmy piping in with, but dragons don't care about labels. Yet, no arc lacks friction. November brought Tate, Detective Harlan Tate, transferred to Columbus PD, career progression, per the memo Elena waved dismissively. Water under the bridge, she said, but Alex's gut twisted at the staff mixer. Tate, beer in hand, cornering him by the punch bowl. Heard you're thriving. Kid too. The smile didn't reach his eyes. Ambitions gleam, or grudge. Yeah, Alex replied even, clinking bottles. Water's calm. But ripples spread. Tate's caseload brushed theirs peripherally. A custody dispute echoing their old saga. Whispers of precedent in break rooms. Elena shut it down, professional, but tension simmered, her late nights stretching. One December eve, snow flurrying, she came home frayed. Tate's pushing for oversight on queer-involved cases. Safeguards, he calls it. Alex pulled her close, Timmy Abed. Fight it. Like we did. The new year dawned with resolve, advocacy. Alex joined a local LGBT family network, panels at community centers where he shared unvarnished. The accusations terror Timmy's cry as clarion. Prejudice isn't abstract. It's a wrench thrown in the works. Attendees nodded, stories mirroring. Trans parents grilled, by moms sidelined. Elena testified at council hearings, badge lending weight. Sarah volunteered, Timmy's drawings exhibits of normalcy. Twist arrived Valentine's, wrapped in red envelope. Invitation to Jamie's gallery show, reclaimed roads, photos of Rust Belt relics. Alex's garage, a featured print. Come alone, the note read. Heart stutter, Alex showed Elena, expecting. What? Jealousy? Dismissal? Instead, she grinned. Go. Closure's a gift. I'll wrangle the munchkin. The gallery hummed with hipsters and haze. Jamie's smile unchanged. Crooked, charming, as he pulled Alex into a hug. You look solid. Life suits you. Over wine, confessions, Jamie's therapy, sobriety, a boyfriend steady back in Seattle. Saw your story online. Inspired this series, fixing what's bent, not breaking. No sparks reignited, just embers banked to wisdom. Alex left lighter, texting Elena, ghost laid. Home to you. Spring bloomed adversarial. Tate's safeguards bill gained traction, city council vote looming, backed by conservative donors. Lena's network mobilized, petitions, op-eds in the Dispatcher. Alex penned one, raw. I was accused of the unthinkable because of who I love. Don't let fear legislate families. Published front page, it ignited calls, supporters, detractors. One voicemail chilled. Stay in your lane, queer. Or the kid pays. Tate. Anonymous. Elena traced it, dead end, but patrols doubled. Climax crested at the hearing, chamber packed. Allies in rainbow pins, opponents in pressed suits. Tate testified first, measured. Data shows risks in non-traditional setups. Elena countered, charts in hand. Data shows love transcends. Outcomes better with support, not suspicion. Then Alex, called as witness, voice steady amid flashes. Timmy cried to stay, not from grooming, from grace. Judge us on actions, not assumptions. Sarah followed, unflinching. My son's safe because of Alex. Greg's the cautionary. Timmy, excused but present, waved from Lena's lap. Council deliberated hours, air thick, then voted down. 5-4, Elena's precinct vote tipping. Cheers erupted. Tate stormed out, face thunder. Later, beers at a dive. Victor's circle intact. Alex raised a glass. To cries that change everything. Resolution rippled outward. Tate requested transfer. Vancouver, rumor went. Bridge crossed. Burned clean. Elena's promotion followed. Lieutenant, heading community outreach. Your influence, she teased Alex. Commissioning a family portrait. Oil on canvas. Timmy Central. All of them orbiting. Summer solstice, now tradition, found them at a lakeside cabin. Rented for a week, no cell service, just loons calling and stars wheeling. Timmy fished with Alex, line tangling hilarious. Sarah and her partner hiked, hands linked. Lena read aloud. Fantasy epics, princes plural. Evenings by fire pit, stories circled, past pains polished to parables. Fall brought harvest, literal, with Timmy's school play. The reluctant dragon, him as the beast, kind-hearted. Alex in front row, Elena's arm is anchor, pride swelling. Post curtain, roses in hand, he whispered to the boy, you slayed it. Timmy beamed. With your help, Prince. Years blurred, Timmy's teens awkward but anchored, coming out as bi at 15 with Alex's welcome to the club, hug. Sarah's wedding small, lakeside. Lena's chain of pop-ups a chain. Elena and Alex? They crafted vows undefined. Commitment ceremony under oaks. Rings simple, promises profound. Through revs and stalls, you're my ride. In quiet moments, garage quiet after close, Alex reflects. That rainy night, child's wail, accusation's noose. Catalyst to this constellation. Emotions etched deep, conflicts catalysts, twists tapestries of growth. Love, in all its spectra, doesn't conquer easy. It endures, wrench turn by wrench turn, the heart's unbreaking engine. The meridian of a decade post-accusation found Alex Harlan at the cusp of 50, silver threading his temples like wiring upgrades. The garage now a franchise, 3 locations, apprentices mentored, a scholarship fund for queer youth in trades. Columbus sprawled vibrant around him, skyline etched against horizons he'd once feared, but Willow Creek tugged occasional. Visits to Lena's flagship store, now a landmark with muraled walls. Check-ins with Sarah, her librarian wife, baking pies that rivaled her old diner shifts. Timothy Klein Harlan, hyphenated at 18, thrived at State Uni, majoring in environmental engineering, texts peppered with memes, and miss your stories, Dad. Dad. The title, earned through hearings and heartaches, still landed soft, a well-oiled gear. Elena, gray-streaked and lieutenant no more. Captain now, her office walls lined with commendations and Timmy's evolving art. Often caught Alex's eye across breakfast nooks, her smile the same that disarmed him years back. Their bond, weathered 40 seasons, defied erosion. Annual recalibrations over wine, adventures like cross-country drives and restored classics, her straight-world wisdom his queer heart fire. Yet, life's dramaturgy reserves encores. Early spring, a call from Willow Creek PD. Greg Klein, post-rehab paragon turned counselor, found OD'd in his trailer, fentanyl, ruled accident. Sarah's voice cracked over speaker. Funeral small. He made peace, Alex. With us. With you. Closure's echo, bittersweet. Alex flew solo, Elena understanding. Ghosts need laying, even kind ones. The service, under budding maples, drew stragglers, mill buddies subdued, a sister teary. Sarah gripped his arm, Timmy, home for break, flanking her. Greg's eulogy, pinned by a sponsee. He broke cycles, late but real. In the graveyard hush, Alex placed a wrench-shaped stone, symbol traded in letters, whispering, rest easy, man. Prejudice's prodigal, redeemed in fragments. Back in Columbus, ripples lapped personal. Timmy's first love, a non-binary artist, Jordan, tattoos swirling like stories untold. They're intense, he confided over diner fries, Alex nodding. Intense is good. Just communicate. Wrenches slip without oil. Elena hosted dinners, her cop's eye softening to allies' welcome. Lena gifted zines for the next chapter. But coming out's shadow loomed. Campus protests, slurs scrawled on dorms. Timmy's call at 2 a.m. Dad, they cornered me. Said I'm confused cause of you. Echoes of old cries, heart-wrenching. Alex drove through night, Elena beside, arriving dawn to hug the fear out. You're not confusion, you're clarity, he said, Timmy's head on his shoulder. Campus security, Tate's old precinct, irony noted. Investigated, charges pressed. Elena pulled strings, but the real torque? Timmy's rally speech. My dad's taught me love's the strongest alloy. Forge yours against the hate. Crowd roared. Headlines followed. Queer son of accused hero fights back. Twist deepened summer. Elena's physical, routine, unearthed a shadow. Breast lump. Stage 1, treatable. History's haunt. Lena's echo. Not scared. She lied over tea, hands trembling. Pissed. Alex held space. Appointments co-piloted, chemo chairs claimed with humor, bald and badass, like Lena 2.0. Timmy deferred a semester, Jordan 2. Sarah flew in, blankets knit. Lena, survivor sage, led War Circle. Pep talks laced with profanity, books on resilience. Treatments blurred months. Hair lost, then regrown stubborn curls. Energy ebbing, then surging. Elena's captaincy paused, desk duty chafing, but vulnerability bonded deeper. Midnight confessions of mortality fears, Alex's, were tandem, always. Remission rang bells, literal, hospital party with Timmy's boombox blaring anthems. To engines that idle but never quit. She toasted, scar faint under collar. Fall harvest brought harvest of another sort. Timmy's thesis on sustainable auto tech, dedicated to the mechanics of family. Graduation, caps airborne, Jordan's ring glinting, proposal post-ceremony, under stadium lights. Alex, teary, walked Timmy, now man, down the aisle of folding chairs, Elena's arm his steady. Vows echoed their own, fluid, fierce. Winter's solstice gathering swelled. Sarah's clan, Lena's network, Even Willow Creek holdouts, Mayor Emeritus, reformed. Fire pit crackled, stories spiraled. Accusations night recast as origin myth. Child's cry the prophecy fulfilled. Timmy, Jordan hand in hand, raised a mug to hooks that snag hearts. Decades end, garage lot snow dusted, Alex tinkers solo, radio crooning cash. Elena joins, thermos steaming, penny for the gears? He pulls her close, dance slow in the cold. Just grateful. From storm to this. Love's ledger. Misunderstandings tallied, prejudices paid, emotions the unbankrupted wealth. Yet, epilogue whispers forward. Timmy's startup, green garages, nationwide, beckons Alex consult. Elena eyes retirement, perhaps a book, badges and wrenches. Lena's memoir deal, chapters on survival syntax. Sarah's grandbaby en route, cycle renewing. In Reflection's rear view, Alex sees the arc, gay mechanic, accused thief of innocence, revealed guardian of it. Conflicts climaxed in courts and cries, twists in trials and trusts, characters carved by friction to facets gleaming. No fairy tale gloss, scars show, tensions tug, but in the drive, steady hum of affection, the story revs eternal, deep, dramatic, defiantly whole.